Bonesaw.
Everything seems like a city of dreams.
I don't
never know why, but I still miss you.
And welcome to the round 2 edition of the two-time award-winning podcast here. I'm your two-time award-winning host, Robbie Wright. We're down to 4. We are down to 4. Like to just give you guys a little bit of a recap here. It is currently me versus Bonesaw and Palacey versus Carmen in the semifinals. We got Carmen gonna do probably a pretty good interview coming up here. Some of you guys sent in some pretty funny questions. And we'll give a little bit of a recap of last week's scores. I'm sure the people that lost really don't want to hear it, a.k.a. Mike and Jared. But just in case you're not really following this anymore and you're just tuning in the podcast here, I defeated Mike. And we'll do my matchup first. I defeated Mike by a score of 113.1 to 106.9, and Mike has beaten me the last 2 years, so this W felt pretty good, especially when he brought Lori on board. Lori ran her little bitch-ass mouth saying that Mike was going to win. Well, suck it, Mom. All right, so I won. And you're not getting any of those winnings if I get the W because you weren't on my side. So, let's look at the matchup here. I was probably going to kill myself if I lost because at one point Atlanta's defense had, I think, like 30-some points. And they finished with 26 points, as well as the quarterbacks pretty much canceled out, thank God. When Derek Carr got 5 points on Thursday Night Football, I pretty much thought I was fucked. And other than that, going down the lineups here, Carlos Hyde had a pretty good showing for Mike, but no one else really showed up. Edelman couldn't catch shit on Monday Night Football, so that I was if he got in the end zone, it would have been real tight. But looking at the scores, but the best man won, I'd say. Congratulations myself here. Unfortunately, I got to play the top dog, and I got to play Le'Veon fucking Bell and Bonesaw. So here goes nothing. Move on. We'll go to the next matchup here. Jared. As you guys know, Jared lost. And this might be the one season where trades fuck Jared because he put up 66.7 points when it counts. And you look at his matchup here. Granted, Ezekiel Elliott didn't do jack shit last week, so I don't know how much of a difference that would have made. But Matt Forte getting hurt killed him. I had him in my other league. That sucked. Look at his receivers. Hopkins getting 5.3. That was the Zeke for Hopkins trade. Benjamin getting 2. Jimmy Graham getting 2 points. He couldn't catch a break. So you got to feel for him the fact that none of these guys showed up after all the wheeling and dealing he did. And but if I do win a championship, I feel like Jared deserves a big assist because he gave me 2 pretty big pieces that had nice weeks for me against Mike. So I would like to thank you, Jared, for giving me Jeremy Hill and Jarvis Landry. Or as you look at Carmen here, we're going to get him on the phone here shortly. It was an alright performance here. It was nothing crazy. Zach Ertz was the difference maker for Carmen, putting up 21 points. And Nick Nova, this 19 points from his kicker. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. I mean, when a kicker or a defense just goes off, it's the worst. You almost I know there's a way that you can get rid of those 2 positions in fantasy football, but it does make things interesting. It's my alarm to take my pre-workout, but I'll hold off. So we're gonna get Carmen here on the phone, and see how he's doing. We would like to welcome to the award-winning podcast here, Mr. Carmen Fortunato. Carmen, fresh off your first playoff win ever in the Monkey Bar League, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had tempered expectations coming into this season because of what happened last year, but I'm in the playoffs, and once you get in the playoffs, it's like the Pirates say, it's a crapshoot. Who knows?
Yes, that is very true here, and some of you guys don't know, Carmen really hasn't had the greatest luck in fantasy football over the years. I mean, this is his first time in a playoff series. Usually towards the bottom here, and he turned it around big time, and he knocked off one of the top performers each year. So I'd like to congratulate you on your W here. How do you feel going against Palacey here?
I feel like Placey's got a pretty decent team. But looking at last week, I thought, Jared had a great team, and I was pretty much convinced at about 2:30 on Sunday. I was like, well, my season's over because Carson Palmer had a -4 going into halftime.
Oh,
So I was like, that was a fun season. At least I made the playoffs. And then, things changed. So looking at Palacey, I think he's a good team, but I think with fantasy football, it's really just anything can happen. So I'm just gonna play it by ear on Sunday. I'm not gonna get too high or too low on anything. I'll just wait for the results to come in.
So that's all you can really do. I mean, if you sit here thinking you're gonna cream Palacey and vice versa, you're just gonna beat yourself, and you can't control jack shit for the most part. So that's the beauty of it. I know for me, I've lost a semifinal game so many times that I can't get this monkey off my back. So I don't go in with high expectations anymore after Mike upset me last year. So just gotta go at it,
Yeah, exactly.
You ready for some questions, Carmen?
I'm very ready for these questions.
You haven't done this yet, have you?
Well, I was the top point getter in week 1, but that was before we did ask the top point getter or whatever, anything. So I just had like a standard normal interview. So no, I have not.
All right. Well, here goes nothing then. And I got some of these. I think some of the people in the league are like getting a little burned out with this, and they're kind of boycotting asking questions. So a few people are still asking some, and some of them are asking too. So I'm just throwing all the questions I get at you here.
That's fine.
What do you miss the most and least about Pittsburgh?
I got a feeling someone's going to ask me this. So, I mean, obviously I miss my friends, seeing them every day, seeing my family and stuff. But those are like boring, lame answers. Predictable. So, I don't know. I really miss just like having like a plethora of things to do. Like Pittsburgh is, it's a decent sized city, so there's always stuff to do. Where Harrisburg, I don't know.
Harrisburg sucks. I was there yesterday. It sucks.
Like, it has the nightlife is okay, but it's like for like a one weekend thing. Like if you were coming to visit me, like you'd be like, oh, my nightlife wasn't bad. But like when that's your only choices every single week, I don't know. That's kind of tough. I least miss about Pittsburgh is traffic. Honestly, I can get to and from work in 7 minutes, and like on a bad traffic day, it's more like 10.
It's not bad.
The traffic situation is really nice in Harrisburg because it's not that big of a city. So those will be that. On a side note, one thing I do like least about being out here is living with Amanda. I have to watch Flyers games because in turn she'll watch Penguin games with me. And I tell you what, it's tough. It's tough watching the Flyers day in and day out.
They're fucking winning.
I know. Like, if they were losing 9 games in a row, I would really enjoy it.
They look really good. It sucks.
I know. Like, I wouldn't be like in Amanda's face. I would like internally be very happy about it, but I would just be like stoic on the outside. But like they're kind of kicking ass right now, and it sucks because you're watching the home broadcast, and like that announcer, Robbie, you would know.
I know
whatever his name is.
Jim Jackson.
He's got the most annoying voice I've ever heard. Like, Paul Steigerwald is not good. I won't defend him, but at least his voice doesn't like pierce your ears like this guy does. I can't stand it. He's always like, "God says bear."
I will say this. I do think their announcer is better than Staggy, but this guy gets way too excited over every fucking shot. Like if he was our Mike Lang on the radio, you would think there's a goal every shot. Like it is the most annoying thing.
Yes,
so,
I agree completely.
I can relate to that. All right, next question here is: do you have more or less sex now that you are living with Amanda?
Actually, I would say there's no difference. as weird as that sounds, but I don't think it's like, I'm not like spitting dust at the end of each week, if you catch my drift, but at the same time, I'm not like deprived. So I would say it's just more spaced out, because obviously we used to just see each other on the weekends, so it was like, gonna cram it all in there. No pun intended.
I gotcha.
But no, I would say it's where I think it should be. It's on par for what you would expect, or what I would expect.
All right, yeah, I clearly didn't ask that question.
I'm going to say that was Jordan.
You were actually right, because I don't think anyone really cares about your sex life other than maybe him.
Yeah.
So next question is, what is the most angry you've ever gotten after getting shelled in pickup?
Yeah, pretty angry. There were a few times during our normal Friday nights pickups where I would get shelled, and yeah, I would get pretty pissed off. And looking back at it now, obviously, I'm like, why would I get so upset? But I mean, unless you've played goal and and you take play goal seriously, not just I'll throw in the pads one day. You take it seriously, and I feel like the only thing I could compare it to is as a shooter, if you're out there and you're just constantly hitting the post, even though you have the goalie beat or whatever, it's just frustrating. So, and obviously no one cares at pickup to play defense. So you usually get 2 on O's and 3 on O's and 3 on 1. So it can be frustrating at times. But yeah, the most mad I've ever gotten, I probably broke a stick after pickup one day, which is really stupid because that's $70-$80 down the drain over a free pickup because I don't even have to pay.
You don't even have to pay, you asshole. Yeah.
I know. So yeah, those were some days where I like to look back and be like, yeah, I should have did that. But yeah, whatever. You get caught up in the moment. I'm passionate. What can I say?
And we used to get I remember the one time I scored. It was I think I scored 3 goals on 3 shots on you. And I was, of course, I'm running my mouth at you, and I literally thought you wanted to kill me.
That's another thing. Yeah, of course. And then you're out there, you're playing bad, and then all you assholes are like, you fucking suck hard, fucking Tim, which is only making it worse. So, yeah. So you guys were part of the problems.
I mean, granted, though, if I...
owe me a little money for the sticks.
If I genuinely, know the goalie, I'm going to talk so much shit every time you allow a goal, because I refuse to ever accept responsibility for a goal going in because I'm not the goalie. I'll use Dustin Briggs for example. On Thanksgiving, we all know Dustin Briggs is not a goalie, and I was just chirping him the entire time. I was like, "What the fuck, Dustin?" And don't even get me started with Dustin Tanner because I made sure he knew that professionals should be making every single save.
Yeah, of course.
So that's how I feel about goalies here. Next question. Yeah. It's kind of you kind of already answered this, but you can elaborate more. How terrible is living in Central PA?
Yeah, so I did touch on it. It is rough. I mean, also, another thing to touch on, a lot of it comes back to sports. It's out here is it's Central PA is not Pittsburgh, and the teams that they cheer for here, a lot of them suck. The Ravens, there's a lot of Ravens fans out here. They suck. Screw them. A lot of Eagles fans out here. A lot of Philly fans in general. So obviously there's Flyer fans out here. The Phillies, I don't care about baseball that much. I don't care about that. Penn State's big out here. I know I'm talking to a Stater, but I'm not a huge Penn State guy. I'm actually a Michigan guy, if we're talking Big Ten. So
we're not.
It is. There's a lot of that kind of stuff out here. But outside of that, there's not a lot to do. It's hardcore red state conservatives out here, which I'm not a huge red state, blue state, Democrat, Republican, but you can kind of get the sense of it out here. So it's not ideal. It's not permanent either, ideally. So hopefully within the next year or 2 years or so, I'll be back in Pittsburgh again. So
next question is, have you taken up DJing yet?
I have not. I've tried it once or twice. It's way harder than you think. I go to Amanda's shows. I help her with her stuff, and I've been delegated to be the request guy because it's amazing how many people want to request songs when you have a DJ. And I used to be that guy. I used to be the one who would be like, "Oh, I got this perfect song. I'm going to play it. The crowd's going to go crazy." That never happens. No one gives a shit about what stupid song you liked in high school that you want to hear right now at this dance.
That is very true.
Seriously, I can't believe, and some people come up and they're like, "Can you play?" I swear to God, okay, I'm at Seton Hill University, it's their Christmas dance. It's a bunch of college kids who are out, I'm sure, drinking beforehand or going to go drinking afterward. And so you think of what kind of music you want to hear. This one girl comes up, I swear, she goes, "Can you play Cotton Eye Joe?" And I have to like be professional because I'm with Amanda and she's like, this is like her side business. So I'm like, yeah, we can put it on the list. We'll try to get to it. What I wanted to be was like, why the hell would a bunch of college kids who are trying to get turned up right now listen to fucking Cotton Eye Joe? This isn't a Penguins game or your grandma's hoedown. So, but you have to be like, oh, of course, yeah, we'll put it on the list if we can get to it. But
it's kind of funny you brought up Cotton Eye Joe because I got so much shit because you've been to a Flyers game. How they'll play the Rocky music in the third period when when they're winning or about to win. And I got asked what do they play when the Penguins are like doing good? I'm like, we play the Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah, it just got shit on.
Yeah, and honestly, that's one time I would take it from a Flyers fan because that does suck. Like,
exactly, you have to take it because it does suck.
Like Pittsburgh needs to realize we're not the South. Like we're not country bumpkin as much as we want to be. We're not. So
everything I hate.
We need to relax on that.
All right, and last question: Where did you learn to dance like a nigger?
Oh jeez, I don't know. It's one of those things that just something that just came naturally. Like people I generally have people who would ask, "Do you practice stuff?" No, I don't practice. I don't sit in my room and like practice moves. It's just I don't know. It's just something that came natural. I just maybe naturally had rhythm and honestly, dancing like to today's music is really not that hard as long as you just like move your hips around and kind of keep the beat. People will expect and be like, "Hey, he's a good dancer." So you all can do it. I believe in you. Just have some confidence. It's not that hard. But where did I learn? I was never taught how to do it or anything like that. It just kind of came naturally, I guess.
It's noted. All right. Well, Carmen, I would like to thank you for tuning in to the two-time award-winning podcast here. Best of luck this weekend here. It's a big game for both of us here. A little disclaimer, which I didn't really touch up on yet. If either of us, whoever loses this, still has a chance to still profit with the third place money. So three out of four people here are getting paid, and hopefully I'll be seeing you over Christmas break, giving you some money. So hopefully,
I love that.
Hopefully the next time I see you, it's in person.
I agree. I hope to see you in person, whether you're giving me money or not. How about that?
All right, Carmen. I appreciate that. Well, Carmen, thanks for tuning in here, and best of luck.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
And I'd like to thank Carmen for tuning in here. I'm not really going to elaborate on the loser bracket because I don't really... you're playing for draft position. Best of luck, guys. Whoever wins gets maybe Le'Veon Bell first next year. So, yeah, this is crunch time here. First place playing for $1,000, second $500, third $250 here. So this is why we play. This is why we play. But that concludes the round 2 playoff podcast here. Best of luck to Carmen, Palacey, and Not Bonesaw.